All right, so this is breaking down the allegory of Jesus was walking on water and things of that nature, right? Now you need to understand, when we look at the Bible, we're not just only talking about an exoteric book, a book where we externalize God and make God something far away from man. No, the book is a representation about God to show you your internal natures, what you're capable of, what you can actually do. Because even Jesus himself says in the Bible, you can look this up yourself, that I'm here to show you that you can do greater things than me. Now he didn't say exactly like that, but he said some shit like, you will do even greater things than I. He says he is one of many brethren. You are the rest of the brethren. So it's a reminder to remind you of yourself, of your own power, what you're capable of, and shit like that. But you gotta understand, when this information is being manipulated and controlled by an institution like the Catholics and the church's goal is to take away your power, not remind you of your power. So now we have this figure called Jesus as a martyr for the kingdom of heaven, which is within, and they're trying to steal it or rob it from you and say it's something outside, and you need to, because they are playing the role of a middleman between you and God. Now, God does not need no middlemen or intermediaries and shit like that, unless you're actually here on a mission for God. But God will speak for itself through events, circumstances, and situations in your life. So now, for the most part, let's get into what the Bible is actually talking about. When the book is talking about Jesus walking on water, you need to understand that this is our ability to walk above our feelings. Because when we talk about the concept of water, when we talk about water, daughters, moon mansions, and shit like that, we're talking about feelings and shit like that. We're talking about dealing with the water element, aka what we anchor ourselves into as far as past memories and shit like that. Whatever we condense based on our vision. So when we are dealing with our internal feelings, Jesus here is talking about you shouldn't let yourself get consumed by your feelings, because when you get consumed by your feelings, you might do something that's not necessarily logical, or something that may not necessarily be in the best interest of your ideals, aka now you're drowning in your emotions instead of observing your emotions and shit like that. So we're talking about Jesus Christ walked on water. It's talking about how the masculine idea, aka the sun, didn't sink into the waters, and it separated its space from the waters, and it started to walk on top of the water. So rather than you sinking in your feelings, in doubt, fear, worry, hate, all these low vibrational things, and it depends on how you use them. That's what makes them low vibrational, right? Let's say you have the energy of gluttony. Let's say you have the energy of wrath. Let's say you have the energy of lust and all these things. Nothing is wrong with those. It's just how you use them, right? You can't let these things consume your flesh. You have to use these things like a bitch almost, because there's a time and place for you to deal with that desire, to release that sexual energy and shit like that, right? But it's not supposed to be some shit that you get consumed by, right? So when Jesus is walking on top of the water, he's reminding you that you have the power to walk over your feelings, right? And even the boat with the 12 disciples, I'm not sure it was 12 during that time and shit like that, but Jesus told them, yeah, you guys go ahead. I'm going to go pray. I'm going to do my thing. And at that time, the boat was at a considerable distance, right? So you're talking about two different mentalities, because the boat just represents your body. This is the temple of God, pretty much, right? When your temple of God should not be sinking under the water. It should be, because it's talking about what? The cosmic current, the wave. During every season, during every single time period, there's a wave of energy that we're being tested by, because it's making us face a particular house in our 360 observation. But that's another video to even explain that. But so Jesus starts walking on the water, and interestingly enough, from an astronomical point of view, it talks about how the disciples, they saw Jesus when it was dawn, meaning the sun was just rising. So this is an astronomical observation of the sun just being morning time, aka going through the first house, Aries. Now the sun is speaking. Now it's dawn. So if you would to actually go out during the dawn of the sun, and you would look at it from a body of water, it would look like the sun is walking on top of water and shit like that. That's actually what they're talking about, because they're just taking external things, because we're supposed to do these things. The sun and the moon, their cycles is bringing us energies that we're supposed to use to just harmonize ourselves, because these external energies is creating events in our lives via creating attention points, making us pay attention to certain houses in our life, aka certain circumstances and situations that we may need to learn how to do more sufficiently to manifest and shit like that. So they be creating like a spotlight almost about it in an area of your life. So it'd be like a light to show you a spot in your big ass house that you call the temple of God and shit like that. So we're supposed to use these things to become more aware of ourselves, and it's gonna apply certain pressures in certain areas of our life to test us to see if we're disciplined and shit like that, right? So now that I explained that, right, when we look at the Bible, you gotta understand that it's a book about allegories, it's a book about parables. Even Jesus himself tell you, I never spoken like straight up, like, yeah, 1 + 1 = 2, 3 + 3 = 6. Because at the same time, though, he gotta hide the teachings and shit like that. Not hide the teachings necessarily, but it's like people is so retrograde, so dumbed down, that they would read this and they would think that it has nothing to do with them. They think they're just talking about something external, but no, the whole Bible is talking about the temple of God, this temple that you're dealing with, because the temple of God, the body, was here way before any type of biblical text or any Quran was here before. So if we're learning how to deal with our internal natures, aka like some tribes that are mutts and shit like that, they might not necessarily know how to get a chick, how to get a girl. A lot of the men nowadays and shit like that. So the result of that is like family incest, which creates kind of retardation down the line and shit like that. Or like, because people like are demonic. They favor, people are like very tribal. They don't understand that everything externally that you're looking at outside of you, even down to the different shapes and forms of people walking outside of you, all of these is just like little different cells from different organs of God, different parts of God that are just walking this earth. Because you are the living word that lives now and dwells amongst men. You are the living, walking word and shit like that. But we start to discriminate against ourselves. We start to separate ourselves externally, and we separate ourselves internally. We might be like, nah, we don't like feelings. One tribe might just like their head area. One tribe might just like their feelings. One tribe might get lost in their sexual organs and shit like that. So before there was even a Bible or a Quran, we was learning to deal with our internal natures. That's what we was dealing with the whole time. Now the Bible and the Quran were created to teach us how to deal with those internal natures, how to actually be a godly man, how to actually be a godly woman. And in these stories of these travels, aka when Jesus tells Peter, man, this must be a ghost or something, because when humans see something they don't understand, they just label it as supernatural. They don't understand how to be balanced between their left brain and right brain hemispheres. They start to create some type of overly extreme logical explanation, aka scientist, or some overly type spiritual explanation, which is like religion. But you gotta bring in both so he can be balanced and centripetal and not get lost. So even Peter, when he saw Jesus, aka the son walking on water, he thought that he saw a ghost. But Jesus was telling him, the person in this story, aka two variables interacting to demonstrate a point, he was trying to like, yeah, come through, come, you can walk on water too, because Jesus is trying to show you your power. He's not sitting there trying to show you like, oh, look at me, I'm almighty, I'm all powerful, I can do this, you niggas can't. No, that's not what Jesus was about. He was showing you your power. So he asked even Peter, yo, Peter, come walk on water too. Peter is like, so Peter was trying to walk on water, but because he had little faith, he had doubt, fear, aka, oh, what if this, aka being a double-minded ass man, being a double-minded human, aka you so-called proclaimed religious people will talk about how God is protecting you in another breath, but in another breath, in your mind, you would have doubt, fear, and worry. Oh, what if this doesn't go this way? Or what if this doesn't go that way? You don't know how whatever you're praying for is going to come as far as an outcome. But if you in the energy of already having it, then it has no other way but to manifest through the many synchronicities or through the many revelations that are available to you. Because so many ways shit can come to you, right? But Jesus telling Peter, yo, Peter, come walk on the water. Why would Jesus tell Peter to walk on water too if he didn't have the ability to do so himself? So even Jesus himself in the Bible is telling you, yo, Peter, you got this power too. Come through, let me show you. But Peter tried to walk on water, but he had doubt. He had fear because the forces of nature scared him. He wasn't powerful enough to scare the forces of nature. Nature should see you because nature is a spirit too. It's like an angel of some sort. But I have to explain that in another context, in another video and shit like that. But he was so scared of nature. Jesus wasn't even scared of nature. Nature was probably scared of Jesus and shit like that. So he was telling Peter, yo, come through, walk. Then Peter was like, Peter started sinking or some shit. Then Jesus grabbed his hand. He's like, why are you of so little doubt? Or what do you have so much doubt? Why did ye experience fear or whatever? Because he doubted himself. So when you take an action, what happened here? Peter, the idea of what he wanted to do, walking on water, was experiencing doubt and emotion that pulled him down and made him sink. So when Jesus was doing acting based on faith. He wasn't scared. He was just going based on faith and shit like that. And he wasn't letting his lower mind tell him, his lower mind, animal mind, is to tell him, nah, this is not possible. You can't do this, aka doubt, fear, aka he went in 100% knowing what was the outcome was and shit like that. But Peter, his idea, when it tried to walk on water, aka a person trying to do something in their life to reach a goal, but them doubting themselves, thinking they can't do something, led him to sink. So you get it? Jesus, this idea that's walking on top of its feelings to walk towards a goal, was not experiencing doubt, fear, self-hate, negative self-talk, all that bullshit that might weigh you down as an idea to sink into the water. So Jesus didn't sink into his emotions. But Peter, he sunk into his emotions and shit like that, resulting in his lack of ability to walk on top of his emotions. His emotions walked on top of him. But Jesus, as an external reference point, was helping him. Listen, let me show you what you can do. So he was on top of the water with Jesus at that point. So that's an allegory for we might get a lending hand from somebody who's spiritually more understanding than us in these realms and shit like that, and they might learn to help us to walk on top of our emotions, because that's what I do for all my friends and shit like that, right? Because I don't sink in my emotions. I understand, like, okay, I'm gonna use this shit as a bitch, not let this feelings use me, because then you're not using the North Star, you're using like the upside down star. Now you're letting these elements control you. You're supposed to be here to become a master over energy. You're supposed to be a master over these different fluids of motion. Same way you see the Avatar, the Airbender, you're supposed to be a master of your internal fluids and shit like that. So your lust, your desires, they don't tell you what to do. You tell them what to do. So your feelings, they don't tell you what to do. You tell them what to do. But all these things is natures inside of us that help us, let's just say, communicate with the overall expression that is God. Because sometimes you have to feel your way through life. Sometimes, you got to communicate some things that you experience. Otherwise, people are not going to understand where you're coming from in terms of your feelings and shit like that, aka psychics and all this different shit. But yeah, I just wanted to break that down for y'all. So understand, it's not a book talking about no external shit. Everything external is related to something esoteric. And if your pastor, if your preacher, if your teacher is not showing you that, then you need to understand they're fucking fraud. And they're collecting a check to keep you down and docile and shit like that for the demonic ass deity that they fucking worship behind closed doors. Because these goddamn Jews don't want you to have any power. They want to have the power for themselves. That's what you gotta understand. And they practicing that witchcraft on you to get some type of money, cars, houses, and shit like that. Do you see these motherfuckers doing what Jesus did? Talking to the prostitutes, talking to the thieves, and shit like that. They talking to the bankers. Oh yeah, they got some good bank accounts overseas and all types of shit. But you don't see them coming down to the level of the people, talking to the people. They be wearing all these expensive ass suits, expensive ass cars. But where's your expensive ass suit? Where's your expensive ass car? That was the witchcraft they practiced on you, thinking that you need them. You need to go through the institution. You need to go through the system for you to even be purified. But purification is a power you have. AKA when you create a fire, a vision, you start to see that past, that emotion differently. You're like, yeah, I know my dad beat me up when I was a kid. That might be the emotion that you in. But you know what? I'm going to create a different vision about that. I'm going to burn it down. I'll be like, yeah, I went through that experience, but that experience made me tougher. Now I'm not as soft as all these kids. Yeah, thanks, Dad. Because it's not about what you're experiencing. It's about how you see it. God might need you to experience what you're experiencing right now, no matter how catastrophic it is, because previously, in other lives, you didn't want to change. So whatever situation you're going through right now is what you deserve, because it's some things that you didn't change. It's some witchcraft a lot of y'all's caught up in, and y'all don't understand the witchcraft that y'all caught up in. It be deep sometimes, but yeah, real fucking shit. I'm out.